The first thing you are going to need to do for today's video is to go on eBay and pay a hugely overinflated price for a metal model. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. If you started Warhammer after 2008, you may have never handled a metal model. So today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get the best out of your metal miniatures. Let's get into it. So, metal models are slightly different to plastic in some ways, and they are completely different to plastic in other ways. One key difference is that they are covered in a release agent, which is what they are used to keep them from sticking to the molds. The plastic models, you do not have to wash this off, you do not have to rinse it, but with metal models you actually do, because many of you, if you remember the old Warhammer Fantasy days, and if you don't, then obviously this will be slightly different. You would apply paint to them and that would just separate. So you need to be careful with that, and that what caused that is not the metal, is actually the release agent. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a metal file, or these are known as precision files or modeling files. I'm going to very carefully remove all of the mold lines and try and smooth out any pitting that we have in the model. So any little dots or holes, we're going to be using some AK grey modelling putty for those afterwards. But first of all, we're going to be going around with a metal file and we're going to be removing any sharp burrs or any mould lines from the model. This is after you've clipped off any flash excess, obviously. Once we're finished with our metal file, we're going to switch into some smooth wet and dry paper. Now I'm using 1000, which I find is optimal for this. Some people may get better results with 600. It depends how aggressive you are with the file, but this is going to remove any file marks. File marks are quite prominent in metal models and you can get serious lines. Once you're done with your metal file and your wet and dry paper, we're going to be getting a nice bowl of warm soapy water. Now I'm going to be using just store brand washing up liquid with water from the tap as hot as I can handle it without burning my hands. And I'm just going to be scrubbing it with a toothbrush. And what that will do is that will dissolve and remove all of that release agent from the model, which will help your paint stick an awful lot better. And that's a very important stage on this, because if not, your primers and stuff will peel and chip off a lot easier, and that will lead to obviously your models not looking the best, especially if you're planning on using them for actual gameplay. The next stage after that, we'll be getting some AK modelling putty and a paintbrush, and we will just be painting that over any areas where we have pitting. Now on this model, I don't have a huge amount, so I don't have a massive amount of space to show you here, but I'm just going to be putting some on just to smooth out these areas. I'll be allowing it to dry for 20 to 25 minutes, and then I'll be going in again with the 1000 wet and dry paper to smooth all those areas out. Once these stages are complete, you can hit the entire thing with a spray primer. Now, I would recommend a rattle can spray primer over airbrush for metal models. I have tried them both. I've tried various different brands, and I find that the spray can ones do cling to the metal a lot better, and it does cause a lot less chipping than I had with the airbrush primer. In my models, I'm also going to be going over the entire thing with another airbrush primer of a colour. So I've decided to go with a dark green airbrush primer over top of the black spray can primer. I'm thinning this down through the airbrush, but again, that will just give us a little bit more traction on stopping any chipping, which is very, very common on metal models. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very quick tutorial and a very, very quick little way of showing you how to get into using metal models in your games of Warhammer the Old World. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like the style of this video, hit a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. That would really help out the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.